right, so for today, I'm gonna be working inside the cabin on building a fireplace hearth in this corner right here. So do I know what I'm doing? No. Does Brenda Baker, the homemaker, have a plan? Yes. Do I need to figure that out? Yes, I need to. So it's gonna be somewhat of an octagon shape here. So I'm gonna lay out the floor measurements and see if I can get it to fit and get to work. Here's the measurement that I got laid out. So I'm gonna come down the wall 66 inches, both sides, and come out from the wall 37.5 each way. And then that gives me, I think, another roughly 37 inches this way. And that box isn't how high it's gonna be, because it's gonna be probably up this tall. It's like 38 inches with our platform's gonna probably be around 8 inches off the ground, plus the fireplace is 29.25 tall. And we gotta leave 7 inches from the wall sides for the fireplace chimney to go up. So we're taking into consideration that. So now I'm just gonna go lay out my lumber and make my cuts and see if I can get this put together. So the first board is 66 inches. The next one I have to subtract 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna do 64.5 here. All right, so I have those two pieces cut, and that's my 37.5 inch two pieces. So I got those cut. I'm gonna come back in here, kind of square it up a little bit and get my final cut where that black piece is lying right there. So I'm just gonna try to square this up the best as I can, as it's right here, but I just need it good enough for a measurement here. Okay. 38.5. We'll go make that cut. I'll do 45-degree angles on both of these right here, so it should kind of slide in, even though this isn't cut that way. Okay, I got it sitting in there. This is kind of what the cut looks like and what I was hoping for. And then now I'm going to go make some support beams that go in here, and some bracing that goes across. All right, so I have my pieces laid out, and I'm going to screw this in. Okay, so I have a change of plans on the design here. So I'm going to take out that cross beam. And the reason is because I'm going to run the boards this way, coming this way, because the pavers that we're going to put on are going to disperse the weight. I was thinking that where the legs go down on the fireplace, I wanted to disperse the weight there. But I was copying a design from another YouTube video, and I realized we don't need to do it that way because of the pavers that we're going to be using in some tile. It's going to disperse the weight evenly anyway, so I'm making it harder than it needs to be. So I'm going to take that out and then do 12-inch on center cross beams, then put our OSB on top of it. That should be plenty enough to disperse the weight, and I'm not going to be worried about the legs coming down on a center point. So that's what I'm going to do, cut out those boards, and hopefully I can get this done today. All right, so this is the new layout that I'm doing. I just need to start screwing each side in. And I took this out right here just so I can move this board in and out a little bit, and then I'll put it back in. Multi-purpose tool. To the other side here. So I have this new camera that I'm trying out. Last video didn't really have it set up right, so hopefully this video is a little bit better, but I don't know, do you guys like the kind of the first person look how I'm doing this? Let me know in the comments. All right. That's done. I think I'll put some blocking in, and I'll put the OSB on it. So the reason I can't screw this in and make it permanently because I still need to pull it away from the wall so we can put insulation on this side, and then where the arch goes, and then we still need to build like a rock wall up here for the the heat of the fireplace. So it's here just so that we can place the fireplace, get the measurement for the stovepipe and all that stuff, and but we will get the bricks and everything in place so that when they come next week to install this, it'll be at the correct height. Gonna be doing a little bit of fly fishing today. So thought I might take you guys along, see if we catch any fish, or just enjoy the day out here in nature. Had a great time fly fishing the other day. Like I said, I'd never been fishing before. So we started out, it's a 3-hour drive to where we're going. And we took about the first half hour learning how to cast, how to do the 10 and 2 and let out your line and be sure and to watch the fly when it hits the water. And actually fished for about 20 to 30 minutes. Had 3 fish come up and take a bite of the fly. It's called rising. They came up, hit it real quick to see what it was, and then I wasn't fast enough to set the hook, but then they spit it out. But so I'd recast out that way, and another one come up and do the same thing, and it was pretty fun. It was nice weather. The water was warm. It was probably below my knees. I was weighted out there, and it was just a real good time. We went with a group of men from church who'd never been fly fishing, and they're probably in their 60s to 80s. So it was a really good time. Drove 3 hours back, and if you haven't gone fly fishing, it was a really great experience. It takes you about 30 minutes to learn how to do it, probably 10 hours to learn how to cast proficiently, and the area we were fishing in was a catch and release, so even if we caught the fish, we'd have to release it, and we couldn't use hooks that had barbs on it. So catch and release and no hooks with barbs. So it was a great time. I'd recommend it to anybody. All right, I got the first layer of OSB down. We're gonna use another layer to make it a little bit higher, and then we're gonna put the tile down. Okay, we got the box built. Now we have this paper that we can put down, and it actually doesn't require mortar, and it's really sticky. So we can put the paper down and then put the tile on it, and then we can grout over the tile. Brett and Isaac are laying out the insulation and marking the 40-foot mark. So today we're going to work on figuring out how we want to place these tiles here. We've done it several different ways. We actually had to go buy 2 more, and we got these little ones that Brent is holding up right now.
Yeah, these are mosaic tile, so possibly that we would just put them around the edge on the front here.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're going to redesign this, probably move these plates around a couple times, and we'll see how it turns out.
All right, guys, so I'm going to get ready to tile, and I'm going to be using this muscle bound adhesive tile mat to make it easier to put the tile down. And so I'll just show you how it goes.
So I had to go out and cut this platform down. It was 66 inches. We remeasure with the tile, and the optimum, I guess, length is about 60 inches. So it's 60 inches going up this way and across, and then that way the tiles actually fit really well.
All right, guys, so this stuff is very, very sticky. I mean, it's great that it's really sticky, but if you lay the tile down on here, it is hard to get off. The first one that I did back here, when I went to put the second one on, I was using these spacers, and I could not get the tile back up because it just stuck really well, so I had to use a screwdriver to lift it up. These are actually used if you're going to use mortar on underneath the tile, but because they don't really stay, you know, they're a little slippery. So Matt's helping me right now trying to position these, you know, correctly. The muscle bound actually came with spacers that are a little bit different than these. So if we were going to do a smaller gap, probably should have used those, but these are 1/4. The muscle bound only used or came with the size like 1/8 and even smaller. But anyway, but this is really great because this is not a messy, you know, type of job to do. And we'll see when I go to do the grout how messy that is. But anyways, it's going pretty good. All right, guys, well, today is a take 2 of getting this wood hearth done. Yesterday, after getting everything done, noticed that we forgot to put the cement board down underneath the tile. So we had to take everything off, and we had to go buy some more adhesive, the muscle bound that we are using to adhere the tile with. And so finally got the cement board here put down. So now I'm going to put more of the adhesive down and get this tile on, because tomorrow is when the wood stove is coming. Here's a look of what the double-sided adhesive tile mat looks like. This is the paper backing. And of course, I'm gonna be putting all the tile on here to see how much spacing I need. And then once I figure that out, we'll take the tile off and start peeling off the backing paper. All right, so I finally got it all laid down. I think I got the lines pretty straight, if you can see here. And so now it's going to be time to grout this. One thing that I like about this tile adhesive mat, that you do not have to wait hours and hours to put grout on this, because as soon as you get this tile on, you can start grouting. We do have one little triangle piece that we do have to cut. So we do have a tile cutter, but I've had this tile cutter for 12 years and it just doesn't fit when you turn the tile around. So Matt's going to see if he can get that cut.
Yeah, so what I had to do is I had to use a tile grinder. So I made my mark, I used a pencil to cut it on the back side, and then I very carefully used a tile blade and just grinded it down very slowly, a little bit at a time. And now it did chip on the black face of the tile just a little bit, but with the grout that we're using, it's really easy for Brenda to get that covered up. Well, Brenda and I were really excited for the fireplace to be installed today. And the company that we're using is a local, and they're very nice people. Well, I got a phone call in the morning, and he advised me that the T-bracket that holds the chimney up on the outside of the house, one of the major components of this install, they didn't have one in stock. They actually had one for our job, and it must have got used on another job or something like that. But they're also in the process of moving locations, and it could have been misplaced during the move. But he was very apologetic, but he still wanted to come out. As you can see, he's marking the walls where he thinks the fireplace is going to go and how the chimney stack is going to exit the house. Where he had a couple different ideas of how the fireplace could be installed, and you can see him doing some calculations, making the marks on the wall, stepping back and trying to figure out the best way to install the fireplace. And what we decided is we were going to have it sit on the mantle, or we were going to have it sit on the hearth and go up about 6 feet and then diagonally about 45 degrees and exit out by the top windows. And that's a lot of pipe to see on the inside of the house. So he wanted to know what our opinion was if he just came up about 8 feet and did a 90-degree angle and went out the house that way, and then had the majority of the pipe on the outside of the house. And we kind of discussed that a little bit, Brenda and I, and we actually thought that was a pretty good idea. And they said they stopped using stainless steel piping on the outside just because if it dents, then it's really noticeable that you can see it. So we decided to have it powder coated, a black powder coat, and get that installed. So we're waiting for the equipment to be done, and they're going to be coming back out to install the chimney later, and we can't wait for that to happen, and we're pretty excited for this project to be done.